If you don't know that we have a blog on our website, go check it out. There is a new blog about Shark Tank, and I am a huge Shark Tank fan. Okay, so let's just jump right into this. I've been watching Shark Tank recently because I feel that there's a lot that you can learn. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a marketer, a business owner, whatnot, you kind of learn a little bit of it all. Just watching these people pitch their business to the sharks in hopes that they can get an investor, whether it be from one shark, multiple sharks, whatever, okay?
Yeah.
So I've noticed a few trends as I watch each episode.
Let me hear
why sharks don't offer certain deals.
Okay.
And a lot of it has to do with the marketing, whether they realize it's the marketing or not. So it's how they present their business. And if the sharks are confused after the pitch is over, that's when you start to see that business owner like trying to swim and keep up with the questions that the sharks have. Yeah. Why do they have so many questions? Well, you weren't clear about your business.
That's right.
What does that mean? Whether you didn't really identify the problem you're solving, what's good about your business aside from this is a really great product? What makes it a business, who you're targeting, the benefit, like, okay, you have this product. What makes you different than the 1,000 other products just like this?
Yeah.
Whether or not they know their numbers, because I feel if you want an investor, well, you need to convince them to invest in you. And that's marketing your business and yourself, because they're not only investing in your business, they're investing in you as a partner.
Yeah.
So that there's just so many things that I've learned that I'm curious to see, some of the things that the audience has noticed too. And also, it's really interesting because certain sharks, although they think it's a great product and a great business, they love the people. They're like, I'm sorry, I don't think I'd be a great fit for you because this is not really in my niche. I'm not really an expert in this industry. And so it's really, really insightful.
Yeah.
I love Shark Tank. Yeah. So,
Well, yeah, there's lessons. There's lessons. If you're paying attention, there's lessons. But I think when you skin it all back, what they're looking for is, number one, do you know who your customer is? And then number two, how many of those are in the United States, or what's your total market opportunity, right? So that's kind of like, hey, in this big universe, here's your perfect customer. How many of those people that look, that behave, that spend money the way that that your customer spends money, right? So that's really step one, right? So obviously the bigger the audience, the more opportunity there are. The second thing is the product market fit. Once you understand your avatar, then how does your product compare to the other people that are in the space? What is your unique selling proposition? What is your unique tagline? What's going to separate you from the pack that's going to allow you to
make it a profitable business?
Make it a profitable business. And when they're seeing both products, when you compare yourself against all of the other products, where's your strengths and where are you weak against those competition, right? And then, so that's another one. And then the next one is the allowables. Like, how much money are you going to have to spend to go acquire these customers, and what do the economics look like when you sell the product and your profit and loss? And so those are all the parameters that go into them deciding if it's a good business or not.
My favorite thing is, and I love Mark Cuban, and he always applauds, when they ask, what are your sales like? What are your margins like? And all of this. And even if the business owner has debt, if the debt is because they've spent it in marketing, or, that let's say that they've had a huge amount of growth, they just started their business, it's been 3 months, and they've sold $1 million, over $1 million in revenue, whatever. And the sharks immediately ask, okay, well, how is this is this directly to the consumer through your website or what? And a lot of the times it's through Facebook ads or through their website that they set up, which from a marketing standpoint, it's just awesome to hear that.
Yeah, big time.
The things that you can do with the small amount of money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's interesting when, when we were figuring out all of the metrics on our product, we've gone through this process and saying, what if we were ever sitting in front of investors? How would we go through this process? And so we've gone through it, and it's a great exercise. Any business should do this, whether you want to go raise money or not raise money, because what the exercise is going to do is it's going to become the roadmap for everything that you do, because now there's kind of a goal out there, there's an expectation, there's a possibility, and everything you do on your roadmap is going to be to, to try to accomplish that roadmap, right? And so, yeah, it's really fundamental. It's fundamentals, and they never change. Those same things are always in play, no matter what type of business it is. Obviously, a software as a service like ours, in our case, small and medium businesses are the heartbeat of America, right? And when you look at the way that the reason small businesses fail, the number one reason they fail is because of a lack of capital, right? It's sometimes you're trying to start a business on a shoestring, you don't have enough money, and you run out of gas, right?
And then you can't produce any more products. Let's say the demand's really high. Well, you have no more money left to produce the product. So
exactly. Yeah. So money is a big thing. You can't hire employees if you don't have money. You can't get off the ground. So that's the number one reason they fail. The number two reason they fail is because of a lack of understanding of marketing and advertising. They have a good idea, they have the cash flow, but man, they just don't know how to acquire customers, Yeah. And it's the same with us. So that's one of the big steps. How are we going to, okay, we know who the audience is. Now how are we going to get that audience, right? Yeah. What tactics are we going to use? How are we going to reach them? Where are we going to be in front of them? And so, that's where our product, being in the small business space, hey, there's big competitors like MailChimp and Constant Contact, and it goes on and on. But the number of new businesses that are coming on every day, there's plenty enough room for a beginner, a newcomer to the scene to go make a splash. And, we have this litmus test of the people that are doing this already. We've had the luxury of looking at what they're doing, how they're approaching things. And we think that what we've done is figured out a better way to do it, right? A more useful solution that is going to connect a few more of the dots that these other softwares don't connect. So we have a unique selling proposition, right? We're coming out into the market with a unique selling proposition, which that's always going to get you attention. The other thing is pricing, right? So how do you compare against your competitors? As a newcomer, we're going to be very aggressive with our pricing because we want to go win market share right out of the gate, right? And so we want to go tell our story. We want to put an introductory pricing in place. And so now the pricing becomes a component also. So yeah, man, these I think for every business, it's the same, but there's just nuances within each one of them.
Right. I love Shark Tank. Wait, do you have a favorite shark? If let's say we could dial this back 10 years ago and you went on to Shark Tank, would you have a shark in mind?
Yeah, I think, I tend to not be too risk averse. And so I'd be jumping in like Cuban would be jumps in. I'd be jumping in, seeing the gold and all those things, just because, man, you see these people get up there and man, they're poured their heart and soul and life into their business. And so I wouldn't be like Mr. Wonderful just because, I think he's very effective. He knows how to pick the deals. He's always stuck on those royalties and all. Yeah. And he's funny and entertaining. But man, he's a tough nut. And what's the other lady's name? Barbara?
Okay, so if you're going down the row, they always kind of sit in the same spot too. It's Mark, and then it's either Damon or Barbara. Yeah. And Lori. Yeah. I love Lori. I love Lori.
Lori's so the shopping network person.
She's more of the product base, and she really gets her hands in with those products. Yeah. She
was
retail.
the Squatty Potty girl.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, she did the Squatty Potty.
Who ended up with the Scrub Daddy deal, or was that multiple sharks? The Sponge Scrub Daddy? I think that was one of their biggest deals. Yeah, the little Scrub Daddy sponge. And then there's Kevin, and then is it Matthew? The older guy, he's
I don't know him. They have guests on all the time.
I know, because now they had Ashton Kutcher.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, was he good?
Oh yeah, he was kind of like getting snappy with Mr. Wonderful. I was like,
really?
Okay, wow. Ashton Kutcher.
Well, when you look at Ashton Kutcher's, I think he was an investor in Facebook. He was an investor in Airbnb.
That's crazy.
He's very, he's picked a bunch of winners. That's probably why they had him on, because he's been a part of some of the biggest IPOs, around. Like the Airbnb, I think he was maybe in Uber. He was in some real big ones.
They've been having. I think he was a Major League Baseball player. I can't remember his name, but he's.
Oh, was it Alex Rodriguez?
Maybe. maybe. He's been on there for quite a few episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
But I kind of watched the seasons all out of order, which is it's really interesting to see the difference between, just because nowadays we're so much more advanced with the technology, and so the products that are coming are just so, compared season 1 to, I don't even know how many seasons there are, but it's really interesting.
You know what? That might be something we do with Marketing Box. We might have our own little Shark Tank thing that we do for these businesses that
would be so fun.
That we're going to champion, just because it's such a great, when you see all the preparation they go into it, they've got to get up, they've got to deliver the value in a very quick amount of time, they've got to get it through, and then they've got to know, those guys drill them on really the minutia of the business, dude. Like if they have their supply chain, who their partners are, what does fulfillment look like, man, they're uncovering every piece of the puzzle. Which
rightfully so, because they are, let's say, they're offering them $500,000 with a 5% equity stake in the company. Like, that's what the entrepreneur is asking for. That's the sharks need to know what they're investing in before they just give you money and get on board with you. But it is very, I'm just like, I really don't know if I could ever go on Shark Tank and pitch a business. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're pretty cutthroat.
Yeah, you know what I wonder? I wonder when how much weight goes into just the sheer numbers and the product, and how much weight goes into the founder, their knowledge, their ability to communicate, their understanding of where they are in the marketplace. Like, how much are they picking the person and more than the product, or how much is it they're picking the product more than the person?
Well, I think that's why if the shark knows that they will have to do a lot on the forefront, because it's either really early business or the person doesn't have that business mindset to run it themselves, the shark will want literally 50% of the company, because they're like, if I'm doing all this work for you, then I need a lot more equity. But they believe that it can happen.
But guess what? When you look back, I don't have the statistics in front of me. Those guys are wrong as much as they're right.
Right, and it's just so crazy, because some of the entrepreneurs, after, let's say they don't get a deal at all, they're like, I'm going to show the sharks, this will be a successful company. Yeah. But they're always grateful for the feedback that the sharks do give them.
Big time.
And I think that gives them the drive to go and make their business even more successful.
Listen, the fact, my hat's off, because I think the way that works is they got to go through multiple, it's not just you get chosen, you go on Shark Tank. You got to make it through a few rounds, and I don't know exactly how many rounds you have to make it through. Like several rounds, yeah. So Mike was saying that his brother-in-law actually went through it, and I think made it through a couple of rounds and just didn't make it to the TV show. But listen, it's such a great exercise to go through this, just because if you think that you're gonna have to go present to the sharks, man, you're gonna go have every I dotted, every T crossed, because you're gonna be on national TV. You don't want to get embarrassed. So it's going to cause you to really go look at your business the way that they look at it. And so, those nuggets from those guys, it's real life things you can take from there and go apply to your business right away. None of it's easy. All of this takes time, effort, resources. But guess what? If you follow their lead, a lot of times you're going to be successful. But, they don't point on the fact that they pass on a lot of deals that are super successful. They miss on a bunch of deals. So that it's not a perfect it's not a perfect science. I'd love to know, of all the deals they did,
which one do they regret?
Or if they can look backwards on those deals, how many of them succeeded just because the founder just willed it to happen, and how many of them succeeded just because it was just a great product? Like the Squatty Potty is one of my favorite. Have you ever watched the YouTube video on Squatty Potty? Mm-hmm. It's one of the most fabulous marketing videos, probably. That one and the Dollar Shave Club video, the commercial that they launched.
Mike always talks about the Dollar Shave Club.
Well, Squatty Potty and the Dollar Shave Club are two of the best. But it's basically got a unicorn that is sitting on a potty, and he's pooing out rainbow-colored poo, and it's going on an ice cream cone, and it's this British voice, and it is the most fabulous. Oh, it is. It's that video it was one of the things that catapulted Squatty Potty. Yeah. Yeah, so. Well,
we all know that the sharks passed up on the Ring doorbell.
The Ring doorbell.
That's, if they didn't see a need for it, or I didn't see that episode, so I don't know, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
But they always do say, which Barbara says this a lot, I invest in people. And she says it's a huge red flag to me when you tell me that you started your business in 2013.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2018. What have you been doing since then? And they're like, oh, well, there's certain things that happen and all this, and I had to stop for a while. And Barbara will always say, I'm sorry, I'm out, because for a lot of other people that come onto the show, like, this is their entire life. They put everything into making this their baby.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's just always interesting to me.
Yeah, I think that we would do well on the I think we would do well if we got in front of the sharks, just because, you know, the other thing that they're buying is the people. And when you look at our teams, you know, our team and the people that we work with in the big world, we're doing something pretty unique, that we're a software company that's serving large businesses and agencies and basically the enterprise market. And we have a lot of pedigree. We've won lots of awards. We do business with a lot of big people. And now we're coming down to the small and medium business market, launching a brand new product, but we have all of this history behind us, and credibility and track record and awards and real life things, you know. So that's the other thing that I would imagine would come into play when they're looking at our team, the experience of our team and our proven ability to execute over a long period of time. I think makes us if we decided to, we're not raising money, but if we decided to, I think we would be an easy pick.
Leave a comment below who your favorite shark is, and if you were to go on Shark Tank, what would you pitch?